BillyTDetroit Radio. News, sports, entertainment, and a little foolishness.
Just a little foolishness today. Just a little bit. What's up? What's up? What's up? BillyTDetroit Radio. And we are back. And the crew today is me and Anthony Peat.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, man?
Nothing much, man.
Today is October 26th, show number 98, my friend.
98 was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was a good year. I remember.
But you remember 98? We were over at WCHB on the Boulevard.
On the Boulevard, man.
And that was the year I actually left Detroit to go to Vegas.
I remember that.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, that was 20 years ago, man.
Dude,
I can't believe it.
Dude, I was just thinking about matter of fact, this morning, thinking about the River Rock.
Oh.
And it was one night where
that was the spot, wasn't it?
I can't remember which DJ didn't show up. Mm-hmm. And you told me, go upstairs and DJ.
And hold it down?
You was like, you could DJ, can't you? I was like, yeah, I could DJ. You was like, go ahead and DJ.
Uh-huh.
And I played Master P, Bout It.
Uh-huh.
And the whole dance floor cleared.
Really?
And everybody looked back at me like, what are you doing? That's the worst thing as a DJ.
Yeah.
Everybody looked back at you, but
they wasn't Bout It.
They wasn't Bout It.
They was not Bout It, huh?
As you remember, I was.
But that was a big song back then.
That was a big song outside of Detroit.
No, that Bout It.
It didn't.
Although that was a little older at that point.
Well,
when we were at CHB.
Yeah.
I was at JLB when that came out.
Well,
so Bout It.
Well, it wasn't 98. It was like 97.
Yeah.
But even still, like Detroit wasn't feeling it like they was other places.
I don't know.
I remember, man. I remember the crowd because, like, when I would play that down at school, it would go crazy.
Where you were down at school was where?
In Ohio, Central State University.
Oh, okay.
And you know, when you're in undergrad, people are from all over, but
yeah. But River Rock was a great spot, man.
Oh man, River Rock. Cafe Mahogany.
Mahogany, man. Boy, oh boy, those were fun days back then. So let's see. Sports, let's get this out the way real quick. The World Series is happening right now. Boston leads the World Series 2-0. LA struggling a bit, but now they're in LA playing game number 3 right now. They just started, no score, so that'll be interesting. Boston's tough, man.
That's who you're rooting for?
I'm not rooting for either one of them.
I don't have a dog in a fight either.
Boston's tough. I was kind of rooting for LA. I was hoping LA would. They've been working so hard. I'd like to see them win one, but they better win tonight for starters.
Now, who was that you were telling me was in the crowd?
Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax was a great LA Dodger pitcher. I think he was with them in Brooklyn, but he played for about 12 years with the Dodgers. One of the greatest left-hand pitchers ever, Sandy Koufax, man.
So you're a big baseball fan?
No, I just know things. Sandy Koufax, you're supposed to know that.
No, man, I don't know. Watching baseball is like watching paint dry to me.
Yeah, that can be fun.
Yeah.
That can be fun.
Yeah.
So let's get to the news of the day. Donald Trump always stirring up stuff. He stirred up so much stuff that somebody mailed pipe bombs to a lot of Democratic leaders like Bill and Hillary, the Obamas, Joe Biden, Cory Booker, and quite a few other people. And they caught the guy. I mean, how long? It started like Monday. They didn't waste any time catching this guy. So it shows you when they want to, they can catch him. The guy's name is Cesar Sayoc Jr., and he's facing 5 felonies, which could be 58 years in prison. That ain't even long enough. Fortunately, none of these bombs went off. Because even if it didn't bomb the person he was trying to, it could have been
in a mailroom.
I was going to say a letter carrier anywhere along the way. That's crazy.
Now, knowing our country's history, I wonder, how much is this is real? Like, is this even
serious? So you're saying this is not? It didn't happen.
Hear me out, my friend. Hear me out. Don't jump to conclusions.
I'm jumping.
So, like, if you know anything about the JFK, assassination attempt, the gentleman that was locked up is said not to be the real shooter.
Lee Harvey Oswald?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's always been a conspiracy.
Not only his...
Not to be the... No. Not that he wasn't the real shooter. He was one of... It was not just him. He didn't act alone as the conspiracy.
Right. Not just his JFK shooter.
That's what you just said, JFK.
I'm sorry, MLK's shooter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, MLK. That's another one.
And the government is said to be behind a lot of these.
Yes, this is
no,
very
I'm sorry,
true.
not a
This
lot,
is true.
but all of these.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well as
yeah.
Brother Malcolm.
And Brother Malcolm, even that was one of those I think they allowed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
may have put those Muslim brothers up to it. I always do question that. Yes, I'm not a deep conspiracy theorist on most things, but I do still question the JFK shooting, the Martin Luther King shooting, and definitely the Malcolm X shooting.
Riddle me this, my friend.
Okay.
How is it that at the moment that JFK was assassinated, that they just so happened, JFK, MLK, Malcolm, that they had a cameraman, video, or stills at the scene, taking pictures or filming at the exact moment?
Well, they didn't have a video at Martin Luther King.
But they had a photographer.
And there was a photographer there because they photographed Martin Luther King everywhere he went. JFK, they really didn't have any cameras. It was a private citizen. He was he owned a seamstress shop or whatever. A tailor. He was a tailor. And he said, hey, guys, I'm going out to film. He had a little 8mm, 16mm camera. He said, I'm going out to film the president. And he was the only one. The Zapruder films. He was the only one with the film. They didn't even expect that. Mm. And that's what really gave people the speculation that another shooter, because of the way the head blew back. It's like there's no way you can get shot from behind and it goes, So other than that, we'd have never even had that speculation. This guy wasn't supposed to be filming. No television cameras were there. That's the suspicious part. Boom. There you go.
In addition,
chew on that a little bit.
I kind of remember some, but I don't know emphatically, so I'm not going to speak on it.
What's that?
Because I think I remember more than one angle on the JFK shooting.
No, one camera. That's it. The Zapruder film is the only camera there.
Interesting.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say. This is not real at all, these bombs? Or are you saying the government has something to do with it? What are you saying?
Well, in addition to how quickly that you
turn
it off, was he affiliated or is he a plant? Sometimes it's been times where they so-called found somebody quickly and they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's true. Almost like the Atlanta bomber, the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
They got the security guard and they had the wrong person or something like that.
That was, 92?
94 or 92, 94?
It was no later than 94.
Yeah, and they just pinned it on this guy so that they could say, hey, we got somebody. And I think it was the wrong guy, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't him. And he lived his life almost, in obscurity because of that. He had to hide for a long time. So, yeah, it's you never know. But I think this guy was a nut job who followed Trump, who, took it upon himself to set these bombs, to send these bombs, man. So again, Donald Trump, they asked him about it. And of course, Donald Trump will take no blame for anything. He's got people riled up, angry, and he talks violence in his rallies, but his rhetoric means nothing. It's the news media that started this, that did this.
Well, I think I've been toned down. You want to know the truth? I could really tone it up because, as you know, the media has been extremely unfair to me and to the Republican Party. I think the media has been very, very unfair in terms of the Republican Party and the way it's been covered. And they understand that. They write articles about that. Many of them admit that. But the media has been unbelievably unfair to Republicans, conservatives, and certainly to me. But with all of that being said, we're winning. So I like that. Thank you.
That's your boy.
My
it's
boy.
Always, they've been unfair to me. They treat me so badly. Yeah, Donald. Okay, if you say so. So at least that's one thing that hopefully there are no more bombs out there and hopefully no one gets hurt. But this is where we're going. The anger has been elevated to such a level that people are doing this. It's kind of scary, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's kind of sort of what I was speaking about the last time I was here when I said when you constantly hearing and you start to get these different images and ideas in your head from watching the constant feeds about the negativity if you're on one side or the other, where you wouldn't normally care. But then sometimes,
or at least you might not be that angry about it. You can care, but you don't have to be so angry. But we are angry. America's angry. We're divided right down the middle. You either love Trump or you hate Trump. It ain't a whole lot of in between, and people are very. They have very strong feelings about it both ways.
Yeah, he's an interesting individual.
And I don't, for some reason, man, to me, it just feels like to him it's just a reality show.
Man, it seems unreal.
It is.
It does. It seems like something you would see in a movie, or a ridiculous one, over like a Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure, or something super exaggerated, like Saturday Night Live.
I have never seen a presidency like this, like from day one, that it's been so just every day, every single day. There's something outrageous. He either tweets something or does something or says something that is so outrageous, and the press, he really leads them around by the nose. He when he does something, he's as crazy as he is. He's very smart and about how he does things. He knows exactly what buttons to push and what to say to get the press to get excited about something. Well, one way or the other.
He's been in the light for a long time.
He's a master manipulator. He really is, and it's almost frightening. It's like, dude, what are you really trying to accomplish? So we will see what happens with the Donald Trump presidency, because the big election, the midterm elections, are coming up November 6th, and everybody thinks it's going to be a big blue wave. I don't know if it's going to be a blue wave. It's both sides are very excited and charged up. And I think it's going to be very close. All these races are going to be very close. One interesting race to me, Anthony, is the one in Florida for governor. DeSantis versus Gilliam. And Gilliam is a sharp brother. This brother's so sharp. The debate, if you didn't see the debate, I'm sure you've seen clips of the debate. And this is where they trade jabs a little bit. And Gilliam gets the best of DeSantis on this one.
On some of Mr. Horowitz's statements, quoting here, this country's only serious race war is against whites.
He had not even made those statements then.
Yes, he had, sir. The first statement was made many years ago.
How the hell am I supposed to know every single statement somebody makes?
Mr. Gillum, I'll give you a chance to respond now.
Well, let me first say my grandmother used to say a hit dog will holler. And it hollered through this room. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
I love it.
Very well put.
He just nailed him, didn't he?
It was very Obama-like.
Yeah, just smooth and slick,
Now, see, this is something that I wish that our society would gravitate more towards, instead of the depiction of over-sexualized women and the drug use and the alcohol and the super sexual beings and junkies. If they could highlight more of the intelligent African American male.
I agree. And that's one thing I think was positive about the Obama years, is that all that stuff you mentioned, we see that all the time. But here you have an intelligent black man, his wife, their beautiful kids, a beautiful black family together. And it was an example of, hey, this is us too. We're not all drug dealers and hoochie mamas and whatnot, which is how we are depicted. Now, here's a question. And I think we kind of had this debate one night after work when we were eating that night. Is it, at what point, because we know that in entertainment, blacks at one time, let's go back to the 30s and 40s or whatever, with Step and Fetch It and Aunt Jemima, not Aunt Jemima, what's the lady's name, who was, in movies, black women were maids. And we, like I said, the Step and Fetch It's time when that was all that we were able to do. Okay, that's all that they would allow us to do, because it was their world and we were trying to fit in, and these guys had to, play these characters. All right. So fast forward to today, when we have some control over what we do. I think we should. At this point, we got a lot of guys out here making a lot of money, and you look at them, and these little dudes, these little rapper dudes and girls, they present themselves, and maybe it's because we're not 12 anymore, but to me, they present themselves in a very low light. A very, and we all want to be thugs and drug dealers. All the women, stripping is a beautiful profession. I think that we've pulled ourselves down to some degree. What do you think?
But I think that we haven't really came that far. Because if you look at it, especially the people that they have us really admire, idolize, sports, entertainment.
That's it.
That's
sports
it.
and entertainment.
Like, unfortunately, I will say.
And I mean, I'm glad these brothers are making money. Don't get me wrong.
No doubt.
I love it. But that's another lane that they've kept us in. But aren't we at a point now where, and I don't say just stop doing it. I'm saying, can't we elevate ourselves beyond that? Or even in entertainment, we don't have to be buffoons. It's buffoonery sometimes when you look at these videos. And what do we represent? Like I said, I watched some videos one day. I was watching some of the top rappers, and they talked as if they were drug dealers. They're not drug dealers. They're rappers. They're entertainers. But this image that we choose to present, that's on us at a certain point, isn't it?
No, because we don't control. Mine is this station, and they own several. But the majority of the stations, even the television
Radio
networks,
and television,
they're not owned by us. BET is not owned by us.
I know
anymore.
that.
I mean, so we still don't control the narrative. And
but if we don't put garbage out there, okay, because we all also have always heard the record company said you need to do this, you need to do that, and there's some truth in that. But isn't there a point when we say no? We're not going to do that. We're going to do it this way. But, I mean, I get the other side is, hey, we're trying to sell records and we know this sells. This crap sells. So let's keep selling crap to our people. When do we elevate ourselves and stop selling crap to our people? It's just like a drug dealer.
I agree with you, but I can't remember what it was. It was either a documentary or I think it was like an audio presentation where I was listening to someone say that in the 80s it was a conscious effort to move. Because if you remember the lyrical content in the 80s,
yes,
it was very different.
Well, it was very, we
had
socially X-Clan, Public Enemy, KRS-One, Queen Latifah. I went back not too long ago. I was listening to some old Queen Latifah. I was like, this woman was so positive. Her music was positive. It was deep. It was telling young girls to uplift. I'm not a bitch or a hoe. She was saying, respect yourself, and all of that faded. And
as I understand, it was a meeting, and it was a conscious decision to do. I mean,
I don't know if there was a meeting or not, but we do know that there's a conscious effort to keep us down. That's been for 400 years. Okay, the psychological destruction of the black man and woman has been for 400 since they brought us over here. They split us up. They destroyed our families. They took our culture, our religion, our language, and we had to rely on them for everything. Well, are we still in that position? Aren't we at a point now where we don't have to rely on them? Aren't we at a point now where we can make our own decisions and elevate ourselves?
We are, but there's such a fear that's been instilled upon us to where, for example, most people are afraid to step away from a regular job, a 9 to 5, because of that fear of I may not be able to get. To make it. But at the end of the day, like I tell people, what are they paying? What is your employer paying you? Can you do this on your own? Can you actually
generate that much money?
I mean, because if they can afford to pay you that, what are they making off of you?
Well, of course. Well, that's the same thing when you look at the ball players. If they can pay LeBron James $100 million, guess what? They're making $300 million off of him. Okay, so
they're making more than that.
Of course, but I'm just saying,
exactly,
off of him alone. But when it comes to that, that's a personal thing. If you want to step out and be an entrepreneur, everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody doesn't have an entrepreneurial spirit. Some people just want to go to work every day and make a decent living. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to take that step, not Dame Dash, the guy on Shark Tank, Damon John, is it, from FUBU? Damon John said this whole idea of just quitting your job and stepping out on faith he said, no. You still have to pay the bills.
You do.
So you work your job, and then at night you go put a couple hours in on your own thing. You do 2 hours tonight, 2 hours tomorrow night, and then then you do 3 hours until whatever you're bringing in starts to get closer to what you're making. And once you match what you're making, then you can segue out and start do your own thing. But you don't just, I'm stepping out on faith. And what you going to eat? You ain't going to eat faith. Yeah. You need them. You still have to pay the bills. So I'm just saying in that sense, it's work. It takes work and effort. And part of the deal is you got to pay the bills in the meantime.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying don't try.
I agree with that, but however, you get a lot of fear when you talk to somebody about it, or somebody else say, "Well, I would do this, but I'm scared of paying taxes." Like, let's be clear.
You're scared of paying taxes. You're paying taxes anyway.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, the taxes is a totally different structure. Like your cell phone, which is a tax write-off. And it's so many things like the miles you drive, tax write-offs, things of that nature.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I am all for people that's really just taking control of your own life.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So I'm all for that. We're all trying to do it. You're doing it now. You've branched out and started your own business, your audio, video business.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, you film. What do you do, Anthony?
I do it all. I produce video content.
There you go.
Something I've been doing. That's what my degree is in. I've been doing last 20 plus years.
And you worked for the city for a lot of years, but while you were doing that, you were kind of doing stuff on the side, or how did you
How
did you step out and do your own thing?
Well, I had a situation where my employer wasn't paying me like they should have been, and I went through the legal resources to obtain my money, and after everything was said and done, I was let go, and I was pretty much.
You almost had to do something.
No, I did. I stepped out into the workforce, and with what it is that I do, there's only a finite amount of jobs and positions, so I was kind of forced to do that on my own. I was doing something, a job, business to business, and one day when I was looking around, because my mind still thought in television. And I was looking around like, God, I wish I had my camera because this place looks gorgeous and I can get this shot and this shot. And I would make a video for this business and bam. Just like that.
What, you were at a business and you made a video for them and said, hey, here's what I have for you, or what?
No, I was doing another job, which was business to business sales.
Okay.
And as I was in the location, because all the things, they made boats. And I was just looking at the machinery and looking at everything, and it was visually stunning.
Okay.
And I was thinking, like, God, I wish I, had my camera. I could, film and make a video for them. And then that's when the idea
the light
was
bulb
born.
went off.
And the company I was working for, I was not making any money. I literally got a couple negative checks.
Okay.
So the
negative checks. What's a negative check?
Like when
you owe them money?
Yeah.
It's minus $50. You owe us $50.
Yeah. So the next.
Hey, wait, what kind of check is this? Hold on, dude.
Yeah. So
I just worked all week. What are you talking about?
Hey, if you don't produce, that's it was one of those.
So you were doing sales, though, you said? Yeah.
Business to business.
Yeah. That sales job, that sales gig is nothing nice.
Nothing nice.
It is one of the hardest jobs you can do, but it is also a job where you pay yourself. The more you do, the more you make. Because I did sales, and they may start you off with a draw, but you got to hit that draw. You got to hit, or sooner or later, you're gonna be like, hey man, you ain't carrying your weight. But if you really do it, and depending on what you're doing, if you enjoy doing it, sales can be great.
Actually, there's more millionaires made from sales than any other position.
That's it. That is the ultimate job, because in reality, everything we do, we're doing sales.
Absolutely.
Because we're selling ourselves.
Absolutely.
Now, I mean, if you just working on the line, or if you just have a regular job, I get it. But when you start doing things, you're selling yourself, especially in this business. I mean, as a radio personality, as a television personality, as whatever you do, you are selling yourself when you go out there, and your work sells yourself.
Not only for whatever business, but when it comes to meeting a potential mate,
you got to sell yourself.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right.
A new friend, a new business partner, a new whatever.
Yeah.
You have to sell yourself.
Yeah, always. So it's ongoing sales. You're always selling something. Well, Megyn Kelly was selling something the other day. And
what was she selling?
Some crap. She was selling garbage, and she got fired from NBC, if you haven't heard, because of her brain-dead comments about blackface. She said, I don't see anything wrong with blackface. When we were kids, we went out and Halloween in blackface. I don't remember going out. No kids going out in blackface in Halloween. And what she was saying is, it's okay as long as it's respectful. There's nothing respectful about blackface. And then she comes on the next day once, all the stuff hit the fan, and she does this half-hearted apology. And they had to pay those people in the audience. The audience stood up and applauded like a standing.
Really?
Yes. And it was a mixed crowd, blacks and whites and some others.
So was some standing and some sitting?
Most of them stood up. And so one of the girls on TMZ said, hey, I watch this show all the time. She said, that audience is always white women. And on this day, she said, I've never seen that many black people in the audience. So it sounds like to me they paid a few black folks to come in there and clap for her.
Not uncommon.
Hey, man. So anyway, the other part of it that got me is Megyn Kelly's 40-something years old. And like 40, I think 47. And she's a newscaster. She's a educated person in America today. And there's nowhere in the world you don't know what blackface is. And you don't know that it's demeaning and it's disrespectful. There's no way, white, black, blue, brown, you know that is not cool. So for her to sit there and act like she didn't know, come on. Come on, Megyn Kelly. But the big kick in the head is she has $69 million remaining on her contract. And they're trying to get, I think her lawyer's trying to get about $50 million out of the deal. That ain't a bad paycheck for a racist. These racists, if you do racist stuff, you get paid. Donald Sterling of the Los Angeles Clippers got in trouble with his little racist incident a few years back, sold the team for $2 billion. The Los Angeles Clippers, the worst team ever in any sport, and he got $2 billion for it. He got paid for being racist. I'm just saying, they mess up, they get paid. It's crazy, Anthony Peat. I don't know what this world is coming to, but that's where we at. So they sending bombs and pipe bombs to people. Megyn Kelly getting paid for. Everyone wondering how she does it. Who is this? You don't know nothing about this one.
I don't know nothing about that.
Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have.
It's FKJ and Masego, and this cat was in Detroit the other day, and I didn't make it out there. But I've been checking out this FKJ guy, and he has these videos with a lot of different people, and he's awesome. And the Masego is just one of the people that I've seen perform with him.
How you doing? How you doing?
It's just dope, man.
Baby, you
That's like dope stuff, man.
I'm already saying.
So I just thought I'd share that with you. Also want to share this. Tamar Braxton stopped by this week. Snoop was here, I think, last week. I didn't get to see him. He was in early. I got a terrible schedule, man. I started work at like noon. Mm-hmm. Terrible schedule.
I know they were still here. They were still here last night. I think they leave today.
No, they've got the whole weekend for the play. They're for the play, The Redemption of a Dog, and Tamar's in the play. I think Eric Benet.
Of course,
but
Snoop.
A few people from the play came by. And Snoop Dogg, he came, like I said, last week, and so Tamar was here today. I just took a little picture with her. She was really cool, very nice.
Oh, yeah?
But the brief moment I talked to her, and she's very pretty in person.
Really,
very beautiful skin, beautiful skin.
She's hairless now, right?
And she has very short hair.
Very short
and
hair.
It looks good on her.
And she's still super attractive.
Very attractive girl. And it's, you see her on TV, people on TV, but she's a very pretty girl.
Does she smell like lilies?
I didn't try to smell her, Anthony. I didn't do that. Also, today, Tori Hart. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Kevin
Hart's ex-wife.
First wife. And a kid named Memphis Will. They're comedians. Did you know that she was a comedian?
I did.
Yeah, she does stand up, and she's also done some acting. and they were in town performing, so they stopped by. I do a series now, Anthony, called Billy T Hanging with the Comedians, and whenever the comedians come in, they'll interview with Mason, and I'll video that for Facebook. Then they come back and do my podcast, my video podcast, Hanging with the Comedians.
Your vlog.
Is that a vlog? Is that what
That's
that
a
is?
vlog.
Okay. I had Torrey Hart and Memphis Will today. Very cool people. Very fun. Very nice.
So where are they at?
They're
Where are they
at
performing?
Punchline.
Oh.
Punchline. Cool little spot.
Yeah,
very
and very inexpensive.
And very intimate.
Yeah.
Very intimate. It's funny. All of them say the same thing. It's so small. As big as this room.
Yeah, it's intimate.
TK Kirkland was here, I think, a week or so ago.
Okay.
And he was cool. So I got him. And my man, Faison Love, man. That's my man. We go way back.
Yeah.
And so I've got some. Those are some. I had Mr. Cooper a couple months ago.
I saw that.
That was cool. So that's something I'm working on, putting those together. So be on the lookout for Faison Love. Should be up on. It's on YouTube and also on.
I think it is up already.
And also on Facebook. BillyTDetroit on Facebook. And TK Kirkland, that's coming next. And then I'll get Torrey Hart and Memphis Will up. So. Hanging with the Comedians.
So is that many comedians coming through?
Well, they come every week. Like TK was there. I don't know. Sometimes they have opening acts. Torrey Hart and this guy, Memphis Will, are kind of together. They tour together and do a lot of things together. So, but it's usually one or two one headliner usually at the Punchline.
Oh,
but they'll do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 shows a night kind of thing.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times. I seen Shane. Remember Shane from the 90s?
Shango?
No, Shane. He was in
Shane. That name. I know that name.
He was in I think How to Be not Pierre, but
I remember
Shane,
Pierre.
Yeah, Pierre.
Yeah, he was cool.
But
he's in that era.
Yeah,
Shane
he was in that area.
Okay,
he was
okay.
I want to say How to Be a Player too.
Oh, okay. He was in that one.
Yeah, back to that time and
that was Bill Bellamy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are cool little movies.
Pierre was in there.
But Pierre was in there with Bill Bellamy, and there was
Shane was out at the same time. He was popping off for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are some cool things that have been happening, and also working on some other stuff, putting a little show together. We'll talk about that a little more as we get going, because Rocky Road and her partner in crime, Miss Fifi, they do these little videos.
She was actually funny the last time I was.
Was she?
I was.
Oh, Miss Fifi.
Yeah, she was.
She's funny. She was
witty.
She's kind of funny.
She was kind of funny.
Yeah, so they're getting it together. Everybody's growing. So we'll be doing some things with them, and of course TJ, the troublesome one, he'll be in the mix. So keep on the lookout for that.
Go back to say show number 89. Go ahead.
Show number 98.
98. Oh, do we get a plaque or a monument or something with that?
No, not yet. But show 100, I think we'll do something special. Maybe order some pizza.
Oh.
Anthony Peat ate a ton of pizza today. He's not feeling too good, so I had to rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, good thing I didn't throw up on the mic.
Thank God you did not.
Yeah.
Because I cannot afford to buy these mics, man. I cannot afford these mics. All right, my friend. I think that's going to do it.
That's it?
I think that's it. Do you have something else?
Oh, no. Well.
You got to have something.
I got a serious question for you, man.
Okay.
I got a serious question for you.
What you got?
When you going to settle down, Billy?
What?
When you going to settle down, Uncle Billy?
For crying out loud, that's your question?
Yes, sir.
When are you going to settle down?
Hey, man.
With all them kids you got.
It's coming. I don't know how that means.
You said you about to get engaged, didn't you?
Hey, man.
She don't know?
Yeah.
Don't let her hear this podcast then. Don't let her hear this.
We don't want to let the cat out the bag. But let me tell you. So I told Rocky because she asked me. So I went to go look at the ring.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you got a ring picked out?
Well, I was doing that. And just like today, I got nauseous, which is something.
When you looked at the ring, you got nauseous.
I've already set the budget. So that was the thing.
What's the budget?
we had this discussion.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
We did.
You don't want to talk about it? Okay. All right, you don't have to.
Yeah, I think you thought it was too much, but it is it is. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much you make, so it might not be much to you. They say, I think it was something like, what's the rule? I think it's 3 paychecks or something?
Oh, 3 paychecks or 3 months?
I don't know. 3 months, is that what it is?
Oh, if it's 3 months, I'm underpriced then.
I don't know because I ain't bought no ring. I ain't trying to buy none.
So why haven't you? Have you ever bought a ring, Mr. Thomas?
No. If I bought one, it'd be done. I'd be married with kids right now.
So what happened?
I ain't half that. When I do it, it's done. All this getting divorced and all this, we start to do it and don't, none of that. No. Do the damn thing if you're going to do it and stick with it.
Stick with it.
Stick with it.
So absolutely under no circumstances
I don't believe
would you get a
in divorce.
So
there's only one thing the Bible says.
No, actually, there's more than one.
There's one thing that I saw in the Bible. If it's something else, you tell me.
It's in Deuteronomy.
In St. Matthew's, it's infidelity is the only reason for divorce. Now, of course, nowadays, as things, come on, we got to up to date. If somebody's beating the hell out of you, I think that's a good reason to leave a situation.
What?
There's not a whole lot of, just because I ain't happy and I don't like, no, that's the stuff you tough through to get to the end. Because, we all have bad days and bad times, and happiness is not every single moment of every single day. You deal with some of the bad times to get to the good times. But in this instant gratification generation we live in, I ain't happy no more. I'm leaving. Well, why the hell did you get married then? Stop getting married if you ain't planning on being married. See, the example I've seen, the people I know, my family, they married, they still married. And they seem to be okay.
That's good, man. That's
they
good.
Seem to be okay.
But actually...
what's the other one?
It's not just infidelity. It's infidelity on the woman's behalf.
Well, of course.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we was clear on that.
Of course.
So you're gonna actively go out this weekend and find Mrs. Right, huh?
Well, it may not be this weekend, but I need to start looking, I guess.
Yeah, you need to start looking, man. Because
okay. Are you rushing me, Anthony Peat?
I'm just saying we don't know how much longer you have.
You made me spit my water out.
I don't want you to die old and alone, man.
Well, if I die, then it don't matter.
I'm just saying,
man. You funny, man.
You gonna need somebody to help change your diapers or something, man.
Right.
Help grab your teeth.
Put your feet shoes on for you or something. Well, that's why you marry your younger wife.
Oh yeah, that's too much drama.
Yeah. So that's it, man. That's all I got.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Go get some pizza.
Yeah.
Let's go get some pizza, man.
You beat me to it.
Thank you for listening. More great stuff on the way. We just having a little fun today, and that's it. Billy T and Anthony Peat, show number 98. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Say good night, Anthony.
Good night, Anthony.
BillyTDetroit Radio. The show's so dope, you might kill some brain cells.
I burned too many brain cells down to be worried about my brain cells now. I burned too many brain cells down to be worried about a brain cell now. I burned too many brain cells down.